Hi guys, it's Jasmill and it's been a while since I made a video. I think it's been like 5 months since I made my last YouTube video and it was about my body contouring experiences, and I do actually want to make an update because I have been really liking the results and I have, I think, pros and cons to talk about. Yesterday I got a $100 check from YouTube and it just made me like a little bit sad. It was like bittersweet because I'm like, oh, like I still get residual income from YouTube, but it's like, damn, I haven't made a video in so long. But it's like, damn, I get discouraged when I don't really have like a lot of views. It kind of gets confusing on what to upload, what journey to take you guys on next and all that stuff. It's all excuses. Been making a lot more content on TikTok, so if you guys want to follow me on there, please do. But yeah, I was looking at my list of like what YouTube videos I wanted to film, and I have like a story time for you guys. I have this story time from this past year in May. I was in a documentary. It was May. I was in a documentary, not really a documentary, it was more like an ad. It was like a commercial, short little like educational commercial about colorism and improving the AI algorithm in technology to kind of like prevent colorism from occurring. So that was really cool, and I want to talk to you guys about it. It was with Google and it was with a Harvard professor.
Oftentimes when it comes down to representation, I'm amongst the darkest that you would find in media, when I know that there are much darker folks, even of different races.
Color biases and colorism are really a global phenomena. The reality is life chances, opportunities, all of these things were very much tied to your phenotypical makeup.
It's facts. I feel like ever since I was a kid, if you were dark, you were not considered pretty.
From a really young age, I did feel a really strong sense of responsibility to dig more deeply into issues of colorism. So for the last 10 years, I've been working on issues of racial inequality. And I developed a 10-point skin tone scale with the goal of making sure that everyone across the skin tone continuum feels represented.
Do you feel like right now it's easy to find your skin tone?
When we type beauty tutorial, if we only see white women, it just ties into the bigger picture of not being represented.
We can weed out these biases in our technology from a really early stage and make sure that the technologies that we have work equally well across all skin tones. I think this is just a huge step forward.
Being represented is a right. If the internet truly is for everyone, then everyone should be represented.
There is great potential for the tech industry to adopt the scale because the world is a better place when technology works equally well for everyone.
That happened in my life and I'm really thankful that I was a part of it. I was a little bit mad, and the reason why I didn't do this video a long time ago was because I wasn't really in the ad at the end where it was a whole group shot and I was in the group shot, but I still got paid really well for that tiny little appearance. But I was really mad because I thought the B-roll that they had me shoot was super beautiful and pretty. So I was really upset that they didn't pick any of my shots in the final ad, but it was a 1 and 30-second ad. And when I heard that, because when I thought documentary, I thought it was going to be like maybe like a 30-minute, 20-minute, even up to an hour kind of documentary that was going to air, you know, on a website or something. But when I heard that it was going to be a 90-second ad that was going to be aired at like one of the Google conferences and was going to be uploaded on YouTube, I was like, damn. Because there was a lot of people in that documentary. They had a lot of cast. Yeah, like, but I want to take you guys a little bit through it, like the process, like how I got picked, the behind the scenes content that I got from the cast, and a little bit more of what it was about. So let's get into that. Let's get into the video. I'm gonna be doing my makeup because I have a meeting today and I have a little braid out. I'm not sure if I'm gonna keep it out or if I'm gonna put it back. Pearl hoops. You hear my roommate singing in the background. The walls in this apartment are really small. I want to do some pearls too. Like let's just be pearly today. Chain since high school. This owl like gold ring on. Also from XIXI, I've been buying more jewelry from Adrian Bailon's line. Cuff right here. All right, so let's get started. First, I'm gonna show you guys the screenshot of how I got recruited. It was so random, but I feel like 2022, a lot of random, beautiful things happened in my life. There was just a lot of synchronicity, a lot of alignment. When I moved out of my parents' house, like, I feel like it allowed for a lot of things to come to me and to continue to teach me more lessons. Also, like, a lot of cool opportunities, and definitely getting recruited. So I want to intersect here. I actually got recruited by email, but I also got the same DM on Instagram, like, at the same time. So I responded to the email first, and then when I looked in my request DM section, that's when I saw that she recruited me on Instagram too. She's like, hi, my name is Dina. Her name isn't Dina, but I think it's just like auto paste from the casting network, from DB Casting. Here's our work. And then she put the website. So I looked at the website and it looked like a legit website. That's one of the reasons why I chose to trust it too. She said, if you click the Real People tab, you'll see what we will be similar to. We are working on a commercial with Google. So I guess she did say a commercial. We are looking for people ages 18 to 28. And I was actually 29 at the time, but I live in Boston. So it was based in Boston. I think also because we were shooting in Revere and they just wanted locals. But honestly, they flew some people out. So it wasn't because they were looking for a very certain cast. And I'll get into that a little bit more later. They said it's a documentary style piece. And when I saw a documentary style piece, that's when I thought that it was going to be like a longer thing. But I guess not. And then they said, involving the work of a Harvard professor and Google, this commercial shoots the 6th or 7th of April, and she reached out to me May 24th. So this production was also very, very rushed and very, very, very fast. Like, she reached out to me May 24th. I had 2 interviews after the Zoom interviews or Zoom meetings, and we shot on April 6th and April 7th. But I think I only went one day. I think I only went the 7th, like the last day. In Boston, so we need Boston locals. It pays $2,500 per person. So I was like, ooh, and I got some money. And they actually paid me more money. I think they made a mistake. So she said, I would love to know more info, or I would love to give you more info. Let me know if you're interested. We can jump on a quick call. I said that I was interested. It's hard to talk, but I'm using a base, which is the Bobbi Brown face base right here. I do kind of want to neutralize my face a little bit and just get some overall color in it. And I just use this Huda Beauty foundation stick. It's honestly so bomb. I was interested. I was like, let me just say yes, let me do it. It could be a really cool opportunity. There's really good money in it, and let me just do it. So I had my first Zoom meeting, and it was very, very interview style. Like, she was like straight down to business. Again, she was gorgeous. She worked, I think, in LA with the casting company. And the questions revolved around colorism and being a person of color. So that's when I kind of started to understand what the documentary was more about. It was more about being Dominican, Afro-Latina in America, and how that affected me and growing up and all that stuff. So I just was as honest as I could be. Then she was like, if we're interested, we'll let you know, we'll email you or text you or something. And I was like, okay. And I also even was like, oh, do you guys need any more people? Because I have like a cousin and a sister that could be interested, because I wanted to get my family in on it, because I was like, oh, it would be cool if we all did it together. And that's kind of my mentality. So the second interview happened. I got a text and they were like, we would really love for you to meet the directors. They're, you know, New York directors or producers, I think. And they would like to meet with you. So I was like, okay, cool. So we set up the second interview, and I also had to take profile pictures. So I just honestly set up I went over there like against that white wall, set up my camera, and, or actually no, I told my roommate to help me, and she took some profile pictures of me and headshot pictures of me, really plain. They just wanted to see my skin color, I guess, and they wanted me to hold it up against. So in the second interview, there was a lot more people. There was like 4 or 5 people, and most of them were on, like, didn't have on the camera. So I just was speaking to the main woman. She was a black woman. She was the black producer. or director. I always get confused between producer and director, but she was super, super beautiful as well. And she was like, I really liked what you had to say. And she just kept asking me more questions, and I kept giving her more examples. And then I started crying. Like, I started giving an example of the moment I realized that colorism was still really, really big. Things in our community that were normal, like it was an actual issue and problem. And it was when I was studying abroad. I had to do a paper for a class, and I picked Dominican Republic. And I picked the time when I picked Dominican Republic just to learn about my culture more, because I didn't grow up in DR, and my parents like didn't really like talk about too much stuff like where it involved like the racism in DR and all that stuff. So I picked the Perejil massacre that happened in DR, where a lot of Haitians got killed. And I tried to talk to my mom and dad about it, but they were really, really quiet and silent and just like kind of avoiding everything. When I was talking about that experience and just how like sad I felt about that history in our culture, and about how our elders don't really want to acknowledge it or talk about it, and how colorism has just trickled down so much in the generations, and how straight hair is looked at as better hair and curly hair is looked at as bad hair. But I think that is what helped me get picked. Yeah, then they, I think, texted me a few days later, and they were like, we want you to be in the documentary. And it was still very vague. Then I think the day before, or a few days before, I was still like, where am I going? Where is this happening? What am I doing? Like, what are the details? Again, it was very rushed, very like a little bit unprofessional, just because it was happening really fast and it was all over the place. But I kept getting texted by numbers I didn't know, so it was just members of production. And then I saw that it was going to be filmed in Revere, Massachusetts. That's in my neighborhood. I thought it was going to be like in Boston, but they chose Revere. I think just because it was a cheaper option. They just wanted us to dress casually. They were saying like college chic, like try to dress like you're like going to college and going to class and very casual. So I took a couple options and they picked their favorite. So I brought those clothes and some extras. And yeah, so the day of the documentary, I did my makeup because they weren't really clear about if I needed to be ready with makeup or not. So I just did my makeup, and I love makeup, so I did my makeup. So something really exciting is happening today, and I can't wait to tell everyone, but I think I have to be really quiet about this for the moment. And I came in fully glammed, like natural glam. And when I get there, first of all, I took an Uber because I don't have a car. And it was a little chilly. It was like April, you know, early April in Massachusetts is still really, really cold. Like, it's not like nice spring weather at all. So I got there, it's a little cold, so I'm wearing my coat. I see this girl, her name is Wawa. She was like looking confused, and we arrived around the same time. So we kind of just started walking in together, and someone from production took us to the trailer where all the talent is. And when we get there, we just see a lot of like vans, obviously all the like production assistants. It was very, very professional. I thought it was going to be a little ghetto just because, again, it was fast and all that stuff, and I wasn't expecting much. But the production the day of was an actual like production company, and it was very, very professional. They treated us really, really nicely. There was someone like basically holding our hands like the whole time. They treated us really, really well. They had snacks for us. There was styling people and a makeup woman. She was like an older white lady, and she was a little problematic. She made a lot of problematic statements during like our waiting time. She took off all my makeup. She was like, honey, this is way too much makeup. The lights are gonna blind you, like are gonna be harsh with this makeup. This is like beautiful and glam, but you need to be more natural. So she literally took off all my contour, all my highlight, and matted me out. And she was like, And I kind of didn't like that, but I didn't really want to cause any trouble that day. So I just let her do, honestly, what she wanted to do. But it's like, I know about makeup. I've worked at Sephora. I've been in makeup, the beauty community for a while, learning and all that stuff. I've done makeup for other people. I've done shoots and I've done makeup on myself. And it's definitely like, you need a bit more makeup to like stand out so you don't get washed out. And she was like matting me out and making me look so boring, so plain. I honestly think my makeup was bomb and fine, and she was a little like hater. And one thing that I noticed that I really didn't like about production is that this commercial, and we learned more about what this commercial was, how it was brought about. Like when we were waiting, there was a lot of wait time because everyone had their different times to like go get interviewed. We were in the trailer a lot. We were talking. There was a person there from Google, algorithm analyst. I'm not sure the title. They were talking to us a lot about the documentary, and this is her project that she's basically like, I don't know if it started, but she was worked really hard to make this project come to life, to get funding for it, to work with the Harvard professor, Dr. Monk, and push his new color scale forward to help AI be less colorist and help technology be less racist. Basically, like whenever you search things, usually it's white people that come up in this world. Like, of course, doesn't really surprise me at the same time. But the whole production company was white. Like the makeup artist was white, the stylist people were white, the film crew was white, all the assistants were white. Like it was such a white environment. And it's like this whole documentary was about colorism and diversity and representation. And I kind of wish in a perfect world that the production agency, people of color, are just more diversity. They were not like entering in our conversations, like talking about it at all. The makeup artist was making so many problematic statements like, oh, I'm so inclusive. I'm so inclusive. I love your skin tone. I love your skin tone. But like in her makeup palettes and her eyeshadow and her contour and highlight palettes, there was not a lot of dark options on there for even my skin tone, let alone the other skin tones. And then this beautiful woman, I forget where she's from, Sudan, I think. She had such rich, dark chocolate skin. They flew her in from Texas because of her skin tone and because of how beautiful and unique and dark her skin is. And the makeup artist could not do her makeup because she did not have the products for it, even though she was like, oh, I don't even want to touch your face because, you know, you're already so gorgeous. And she is so gorgeous. She's so beautiful. She did not need any makeup, but it's like she couldn't even do her makeup. And it wasn't even because of that reason. She just didn't have like option for her makeup. So that pissed me off a lot. And I noticed those things. I noticed all those little things, but it's like, so yeah, it was really cool being in that trailer, speaking to that person from Google. Dr. Monk came in and he told us, he gave us a little background. Wawa from, she was about that world and she speaks really beautifully. So she was the main talent of the documentary. And all right, I want to hurry up because it's already taking so long. I'm just gonna put on a little bit more lipstick. What do you guys think? Let's get into my scene and when it was time for me to actually get interviewed at the documentary, at the place. So we, again, we're at Revere, Massachusetts, and it was a house. Like it was someone's house. They were able to rent out, I guess, someone's house and use the different rooms as like different places to interview everyone at. I was interviewed in like their greenhouse, and it was like pretty special because I'm getting more into plants. So I was surrounded by all these plants and it was really, really great. Like it was cold. It was really, really cold, especially in April and that time of year. And the plants were kind of like dying a little bit, but I think they were able to make it look like everything was thriving and it was warm and it was beautiful and everything was fine. Come to think of it, maybe the plants really did look bad and maybe that's why they didn't use any of my shots. I'm gonna go with that as a possibility. First of all, I was really, really nervous. I was really, really nervous, and they could tell they could tell that I was nervous. They were like, shake it up, like loosen it up, loosen yourself up, like just breathe and just be natural. But it was really hard for me to do that also because I'm not used to it. Also, there were so many people, there were so many film people, camera people. The cameras were huge. There was, again, like the stylists and the makeup people, like there was a lot of people and the place was really small. So I was just so nervous and I was worried about my hair, and I was like sitting like this, and this is like my bad side, so I was also insecure about that. Her husband, they have the production company together, or they're producers together, so he was kind of like directing and like behind the scenes and trying to like say things to like take things to the next question and like kind of make things flow a little better and just direct on what he wanted to get out of me. But on the spot, nervous, just like you know, like it was hard to think of it on the spot. And then he talked about he brought up if I can talk about my experience with the Haitian massacre in DR, the subject that made me cry during my second interview. That's what they really wanted from me. And, you know, I tried to explain it again. Obviously, I didn't get emotional. I didn't cry, and I'm happy. I mean, one other person did cry, but that came natural for her. If I cried naturally, I wouldn't have been like upset about it, but I didn't want to force myself to cry, even though I can cry on command. I didn't want it to be inauthentic, so I just explained it. I finished my interview, and then they were like, let's get some B-roll. And that's where I was like I was in the green room, so my B-roll was me holding up a watering can and like watering some plants, but looking like serious. So like, and I felt like I looked so cute in the green room, and my green room B-roll was gonna be so amazing, but they didn't. So anyways, I went back to the trailer, we talked some more. There was a lot of downtime. They gave us lunch. The lunch was really healthy. I got like a tofu veggie like rice bowl, and they had some sweets and stuff, so I think I had like a brownie maybe or something. I definitely pushed for us to like continue because I was like on a high, and I wanted to like make connections with these people. So I pushed for us to like go get like dinner somewhere or get drinks somewhere. So we went to this restaurant in Revere in front of the beach, and we had some drinks, and I think we had some dinner, and it was making friends on set.
Okay, now you're not at the same time.
And it was super cool. And then the guy from the shoot drove me back home because I didn't have a car and I didn't want to take an Uber. So that was really, really nice. They were really, really nice people. I'm gonna put some behind the scenes footage from the restaurant because I like kind of like filmed everyone at the restaurant. How did you feel about your experience today?
I had fun and I am humble.
Okay. But did it move you?
Yes,
The project?
Deeply.
You think it's really important?
Yes, very important.
How did you feel about your experience?
I feel very proud, and I feel like it was such an honor to be a voice for my culture. I got to rep my culture, and I can't wait to see the final project.
Yep.
I know you.
Wawa.
I was like, she logs into TikTok, and I've never seen anyone have that many notifications. And now on our page, you've gone viral so many times.
You are viral.
She's an influencer. Like, that's insane.
You're so humble.
Videos of your daughter. Yes, we talk about how cute she is all the time.
Wait, you knew about her daughter before?
Yes, my older sister sends me videos of her all the time.
That's so cool.
She's so cute. So
That's crazy.
And this one. Hey, I already liked it.
What's a small world? She's your fan.
This is a small world. It's a small world.
You're like, stop it. That is crazy.
That's insane.
Wait.
That's crazy.
Right. Period. I think that's right. I talk about environmental stuff, but the racists be finding.
Your page is really cool too. I need to dive more deep into it, but your page is popping.
What? You were 16, girl. So I talk about environmental stuff in a way that I study it. So like I talk about it, but the racists get mad at me, and
they're just haters.
they're haters. So
All right, so what did you think about today, and how did you feel about your experience?
First of all, it was a long day, a long good day. You know, met a lot of nice people, cool people, and the experience was good. You know, basically just talking about yourself, you know, skin color, how people treat other people in this world, and stuff like that. But yeah, it was nice.
Yeah. How did you feel about today? How was your experience?
Today was fantastic. I'm very tired. I've been up since 4 a.m. But it was lots of good vibes. Great people.
Yep.
Great people, great vibes. That's it.
Yes.
Send me that video.
So I just wish I got like at least one B-roll shot, but I didn't. But that was fine. It's okay. At least I experienced it, and they gave me $3,500 just for one day. I mean, it was a full day, but I put that in my savings. Like I haven't even touched it. It's still in my savings. It's in my emergency funds. I was thinking that it was really just a gift from God and an opportunity from God, and it was a great thing. So I think they messed up. They were supposed to give us $2,500. They gave us $3,500. We got like $500 from like one company, or like part of our fee, and then we got the rest of the money like a month or two later. So I was kind of worried that the rest of the money wouldn't come in, but I guess it's just normal for companies to like take a while to pay you in full. But we eventually did get the money. Really cool. And I hope you guys like this video. I hope you guys like the story time. I want to do more YouTube videos, so stay tuned. Please subscribe, please comment so I know that you watched and I know that you liked it. And let me know if if you guys have had any experiences with, you know, being a talent and doing commercials and doing like reality type of things like that. If you guys have had any experiences with that. I did sign up for like casting agencies, and like I did submit like kind of like a profile so I can just be in the know for future things, because I really did like it. I really wanted to be part of that world and get more opportunities like that, but it hasn't really worked out. So I don't know. Like, my motto in life is more like, if it comes, it comes. If it's meant to be, it's meant to be. I'm definitely gonna work hard and put my time in and create and do things and try to meet people and try to go places, but I'm not like chasing things super hard. But I do know that I am meant for great things, and I am meant to have a voice, and I am meant to have a platform, and I am meant to like do great things in this world. But I need to stay operating from a high vibrational kind of standpoint and not be so needy and not be so desperate, because I felt like I was in a really desperate, needy place, especially when I was trying to make content creating my full-time career. I was going about it the wrong way. I was trying to grow my following the wrong way. I was trying to like just be so desperate for followers and virality and fame. So I kind of wanted to happen more naturally and just more authentically and more organically. So that is me now. And yeah, let me know if you guys relate to that.